What specific experience do you have for the jailer position that sets you apart from the other candidates?
This question, as a lot, will be started with Mr. Eddie Jones.
Could you repeat that question?
Yes. The question is, what specific experience do you have for the jailer position that sets you apart from the other candidates? Thank you, Ms. White.
I guess my prior experience with administrative officers of the courts. I worked 15 years by myself, every day, every night, practically. Don't get me wrong, I didn't work straight 30 days a month or whatever, but I worked nights and days for 15 years by myself, talking to the inmates, going through the jail, trying to alleviate the overcrowding, helping people get out of jail, preparing people for court, talking to them about attorneys, working with the judges. I have all kinds of experience. And I had 5 years experience on folks locking people up in jail, guarding, watching them, seeing some of the things that's been mentioned here. I've seen it firsthand. These are not mean people, but they're people, and they have to be treated as such. They're human beings. Yes, they have made mistakes, but it's not my job to determine their guilt or innocence. My job is to house and protect them.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you. I inadvertently skipped Mr. Mason on the last question. If you will allow me, we will get through this next question and allow Mr. Mason to answer the previous question. Is that okay with you, Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Would you like to answer the question now? The previous question? Thank you very much. The previous question, once again, from Mr. Birchfield was, if elected, name 2 changes you would make in your first year of office, and I appreciate your patience with me.
The first thing I'd like to do is look at putting the staff in uniforms. I think staff members being in uniform when the public comes in, or even the people that's being placed in jail, when people are looking at you in a uniform, they look at you a little bit different as more of a professional development thing. Also, I would like to look at putting a rank structure in the jail system to where you can have supervisors on shifts that would be responsible for things that go on that shift.
Thank you again, sir. We're going to ask Ms. Wyatt to repeat her question for the next person in line. Mr. Jones, I appreciate you answering the question. And Mr. Farmer, you will be next in line for this question from Ms. Wyatt.
What specific experience do you have for the jailer position that sets you apart from the other candidates?
I'd worked in jail for 4 years, and I kind of know about, what needs to be done, and I think it would, qualify me to run and everything, because, like I said, there's a lot of things I know that needs changed, it should be, a lot of things can use improvement on and everything, but that's kind of the reason I feel I'm qualified to run everything.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ferguson, same question.
I have law enforcement experience at all 4 levels, city, county, state, federal. I've been to various academies all over the country, EMT trained, was trained in controlling hazardous materials. The experience that I have would come in handy, in all those areas. And I just think that it was be the right place in order to show it, to put all that to work in the Bell County jail system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Mr. Gregory, same question.
Could you repeat it, please?
Yes, I will have Ms. Wyatt repeat it for you.
What specific experience do you have for the jailer position that sets you apart from the other candidates?
Well, the previous experience I have now is that I take out the work release program through the week. I take them out, work them on the highways, picking up trash, cutting trees, stuff like that, and does anything the communities need. I feel that this is a very good program, and I feel that I have experience in that need of it, and that's about all I got.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gregory. Mr. Parton, same question, please.
Well, I've been there 7 years. I guess that's all I've got to come to. Is I've been there 7 years, and I've seen things come and go. I've seen a lot of people come in that gets out one day and comes back the next. We've got this open door, and they get out today, they come right back tomorrow on the same charges. So I would like, that's where the programs comes in. As far as the drug programs, they need to be more drug programs for these people that gets out today and comes right back tomorrow. There should be a program where they can go and get help with this stuff. And that's all I've got.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parton. Ms. Lawson, same question for you. If you were elected, what specific experience do you have for this position?
As I said earlier, I've got 19 years at the jail. We have to take yearly classes in CPR, triage, jailer training, mental health training, and the female guards has to go to pharmacy training. But if you ask me 20 years from now if I knew everything about being a jailer, I would still have to say no, because it changes from day to day, the rules and regulations. We were told last week, come January, our policy and procedure manual is gone. It's all going to be new, so we'll start training all over.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. Mr. Mason.
Like I mentioned earlier, the experience with the military, 23 years of military experience, and the training and the different schools that I've attended in that area. Also, as a retired captain from the Justice Cabinet, done 24 years there. I was the CERT commander for 4 years. I was on the CERT team for 16 years. Been involved in inmate escapes, inmate suicides, inmate deaths, prison riots, shakedowns of institutions for contraband. Also internal affairs officer. I was captain of internal affairs that actually investigated staff on misappropriations of things that they done that was against policy and procedure. Also, I was an ACA member that done inspections at other facilities and institutions on their security. Community detail supervisor, I was firearms instructor, eye shield instructor, taser trained, OC instructor, critical incident coordinator. I actually helped write the critical incident manual for the facility that I worked at. FBI trained hostage negotiator. I was also the PREA coordinator, which is Prison Rape Elimination Act coordinator, veterans coordinator, search and rescue canine handler, and a trainer. Staff trainer, I was one of the institution's trainers for staff. Security threat group coordinator, which is your gangs and in the facilities. DNA collector and fingerprint training. Also had over 3,000 hours of career corrections, numerous fields in training, and completed 25 modules on the emergency management study program. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Halcomb, same question to you, sir.
Yes, I feel like I said, I was retired from the Kentucky State Police. I have EMS training. I also have all the advanced firearms training, the finest firearms training that any police officer can have through the state police. Not that we would ever need that in the jail, but it's just part of the training. I'm also a certified hostage negotiator. I was the hostage negotiator, as I mentioned, for Post 10 for several years with several very successful negotiations that could have turned very bad. I'm also a crisis intervention officer, and that's a big deal where a lot of times police officers, especially some younger ones, they may make a mistake because someone is talking to themselves or talking or about seeing things or whatever, that they're on drugs or whatever, when the person actually could be suffering from schizophrenia. I've been trained in distinguishing between those that are on intoxicants and maybe having mental problems. I've also been on the state police riot squad to learn how to control a large crowd of people with a minimum of force, non-lethal force. I'm also trained in taser usage, which I feel the jail also needs some tasers in the jail to prevent, if nothing else, liabilities and lawsuits. I'm also kinesics trained. I'm trained in hidden voices training for the people that may be sexually abused or physically abused but will not commit to it or admit to it, but you can tell by their actions. I said kinesics training. I've been a detective for most of those years with the state police, and I have interrogation training and interview training. And I can tell whenever we've got a problem or whatever due to the attention to detail that I do pay to anything that I'm doing. Plus, I have access to some of the finest training and certifiers of anything you need done in the jail for the jail staff.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you very much.
I'm sorry. I don't have time for you.
That's okay. All right, the next set of questions started by Ms. Herring will be a 1-minute time limit. Once again, 1-minute time limit. I'd like to say thank you. All of you have been very respectful of the time and of each other. I'm very grateful for that. Ms. Herring?
If elected, how would you treat the use and attempted smuggling of drugs into the detention center? If elected, how would you treat the attempted use or the use and the attempted smuggling of drugs into the detention center?
And Mr. Ferguson, by lot, you are the fourth person to be questioned. Your turn, sir.
First off, if elected, there will be a zero tolerance on drugs in the jail, because that's exactly what we're trying to prevent. So if someone is caught, whether if it's an employee, like I said, there will be things put in place. I mean, it wouldn't just be that they will all of a sudden just be fired or whatever. They will know this going in, that if found with contraband of any type, then that's the immediate dismissal. And as far as an inmate, we just a rearrest, and then it'll go through the proper court system to see what happens from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Mr. Gregory, if elected, how would you treat the use and attempted smuggling of drugs into the detention center?
Well, I would treat it punishable by the most extent of the law when it's up to court. You know what happened there with that. But first of all, I think it'll come back to the work release program. There's no doubt stuff gets into the work release. There's no doubt. And I think if that was changed in a manner to where if maybe the inmates were not allowed to bring any money out or do any type of trading or eliminate their access to buying tobacco and stuff. And I think that would cut down a lot of it as well. And that's all I've got today.
Thank you very much. Mr. Parton, same question for you, sir.
Repeat the question.
Yes, sir. If elected, how would you treat the use and attempted smuggling of drugs into the detention center?
Well, the one that the inmates go out with would be responsible. We bring them to justice for allowing them to get the drugs. And then we would charge the ones that brought the drugs in. If it was an inmate, if it was the workers, the officers that gave it to the inmates, we would fire them on the spot because there's no tolerance for that. The work release would be charged.
Thank you very much. Ms. Lawson, same question to you. If elected, how would you treat the use and attempted smuggling of drugs into the detention center?
First of all, I would have the inmates in custody of deputy jailers. No outside people, deputy jailers. They would be responsible for it. When I first started the jail, we didn't have work release. We had them separate from the other inmates. So that cut down on a lot of it. But maybe we do need like deputies from the jail to take them out on work release. And maybe when they come in, we used to put them in a cell for like a holding cell for a few hours and watch them that way. But, you're not going to keep it all out. They bring it in ways you wouldn't wonder about it. But that's the best you can do, is just maybe keep them separate from the other inmates and control the work habits. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mason, same question to you, sir.
Discipline to the fullest extent of the law or the policy and procedure is what I would recommend for that. I know that the jail probably has a policy and procedure, and there's a law on that, and it'd be the discipline to the fullest extent of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Holcomb, your take on this, sir.
First off, whenever the inmates brought in by police officers, they would be searched thoroughly and told. If they had anything hidden on them at all, that would be the time to go ahead and relieve themselves of the drugs. Second off, any employee caught at all trying to smuggle drugs into the jail, I will personally charge, and if applicable, I will indict them before the grand jury and send them to prison myself. Besides that, I also think that if we've got people with a drug problem, I mean, let's face it, we're losing the war on drugs. We lost the war on drugs when the first young person OD and die on drugs. But people are addicted to it, where there's it's like the law of supply and demand. Where there's a demand, somebody will attempt to supply. It's a battle that's ongoing. We just have to keep fighting the battle. And I think the best way to do that is through training of the staff, training of the officers, and strict and swift punishment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones, same question to you, sir.
Okay, go ahead and repeat that question.
If elected, how would you treat the use and attempted smuggling of drugs into the detention center?
The use and the attempted smuggling of drugs into the jail. You know, that's a daily thing at the Pell County Jail. It's been there for a long time. And it most certainly cannot be eradicated. Cannot stop it all. But you certainly can have your people to be trained to search, look for signs of drugs being coming in. I know it's been done for a long time, many years. And the jail currently does that. They check the inmates, they do strip searches, they do everything that they possibly can and are trained to do to stop that. And you have to continue that. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, Mr. Palmer.
Okay, what was the question again?
Yes, sir. If elected, how would you treat the use and attempted smuggling of drugs into the detention center?
Okay, if it was an employee bringing them in or something, he could be dealt with, wherever the law requires anything to be done about it. If it's a prisoner, bringing them in, he could be dealt with too, whatever charges would be put against him for it. And really, on work release, they would actually need to be drug tested randomly, every so often too, to make sure, they're not like anything in their system they shouldn't have. But that's one of the main things I would probably see need to be done.
Thank you very much. The next question will be from Mr. Charles Birchfield, and as lot has drawn, Mr. Parton will answer this question first. Mr. Birchfield.
What would you do if there was a hostage situation at the detention center?
The first thing I'd do is secure the rest of the jail if possible. I would call the authorities and start procedures that way. Try their best not to let them take over the whole jail by getting into the control center. Keep it isolated if possible. That's probably what I would do.
Thank you very much. Ms. Lawson, what would you do if there was a hostage situation at the jail?
We have regulations for that, and I will follow them. One of the things is, if you're in the control room, you don't unlock it for an inmate, no matter if you're not a hostage, jailer or anybody else. If I was a jailer, they have me hostage, I would expect you to obey the rules. Because once they take over the control room, they'll open all the cells. And, we really need to have somebody that can talk to them. So I would like to, maybe have some training to talk to them, which we've not had that problem yet, but we almost did, but one of the inmates stopped it. But we do have regulations and rules you have to abide by and we're trained in them. One of them is you don't give them what they want. You call in the police and have a negotiator call and keep your control door locked down.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. Mr. Mason, what would you do if there was a hostage situation at the jail?
The first thing I do is locate and verify the situation. You want to isolate and contain the hostage situation, And I'm sure that the jail, just like the security institutions has, they have policies and procedures on those events and critical incident manuals, and you go on and follow your step-by-step things in your critical incident manual and your policy and procedure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Holcomb, what would you do as jailer if there was a hostage situation at the jail?
First off, as jailer, there shouldn't be any weapons or anything or any reason why any inmate should be able to take a hostage in the jail. If that were to happen, we would contain the situation, would segregate all the prisoners away, get as many into safety as possible, as quickly as possible. And we would go ahead and begin negotiations with the hostage taker. And the first thing I would ask them is, what is it that set you off today to make this happen? Because we all have a cup of cope, what we can cope with, no matter what. And that one little drop of something causes people to go off. And they do things for different reasons. It may be 25 different reasons that causes them to be upset and angry to get in that situation, but it might be something as simple as receiving a cold cup of coffee that angers them to the point to do that. I would deal with them, I would negotiate with them, and at the very end we would use very minimal lethal force to end the situation as quickly as possible.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Jones, how would you handle, as jailer, a hostage situation?
Hopefully that'll never occur. But if it does, you don't necessarily have to have a weapon. You can use your hands as a weapon if you happen to be bigger and stronger than another inmate. Like Mr. Hawkins said, you talk to them, you try to negotiate with them, and you certainly try to secure the rest of the jail. And the person that's in that control room controls that jail. You can't get in or out if it's done properly, the way that you're trained to do. So you try to handle the situation as best as you can. You try to talk the person down. And after it's said and done, you find out what the problem was and how you can do it better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. If there was a hostage situation, Mr. Farmer, how would you handle it as jailer?
I'd try to secure the area where the hostage was and try to, make sure everything, the rest of the jail was locked down and everything's secured. And try to talk him into, him or her, whichever one it was, to negotiate with them, try to keep them calm. And I would have contacted authorities and got them on their way and everything. And like I said, about all you do is, if you can face some way, you can help the situation yourself, unless that would be about the safest way to probably put it, I'd say. But that hopefully would never happen, but you never know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Ferguson, if you're elected jailer, how would you handle a hostage situation?
Immediately, a predetermined protocol will go into effect due to prior training. Second thing is you would identify where the threat is and try to keep it isolated by doing a lockdown. And you would notify outside authorities so as to secure the perimeter so no outside help could interfere coming in. And from that point, you would also have a trained hostage negotiator, someone that would take over and try to defuse the situation. And from that point, it could be a standoff, who knows how long, but as long as you can keep it isolated and contained inside the building, things should eventually work out. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Gregory, how would you handle a hostage situation at the jail?
Well, until now, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't know. I'd just like to say that I've listened to everyone here, the background of law enforcement and stuff, and I wouldn't know how to handle it except for what I just heard them say. But I'd be more than glad to take any type of training and anything I could if elected president next jail. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have one final question from our panelists, and in the interest of time, we'll have once again a 1-minute answer. This question will be answered by Bruce Mason first. Ms. Wyatt.
Have you done anything to prepare yourself to hold the office you are seeking?
Yeah, I believe I have with some of the answers I've already given, and, with my military career and Department of Corrections career that I have, the training that I've accumulated over the 24 years of my service with the Department of Corrections. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hawkins, excuse me.
Yes, I've graduated from the Department of Criminal Justice Training Police Academy and the Kentucky State Police Academy. I've had all sorts of training, as I've mentioned before, everything from hostage negotiation to kinesics to body language to attention to detail. Furthermore, I've been in public service since I was 18 years old. That's the only thing I know how to be. And on my retirement date since last Halloween, my phone hasn't rang at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've not been invited to a murder or rape or a bad car wreck or anything. I don't feel like anybody loves me anymore. And I would like to be able to hold that position, and I would like to let everybody know that I would be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll get the problem solved if you've got a problem, and I don't see how you could be trained any better than I have. I would say for 23 years, who's brought those people from jail with nonviolent ends and means. And I've been there and I've done that. And I think I'm more than capable of taking care of Bell County Jail. And guys in the emergency services out there, I miss you guys. From the fire departments, the ambulance service, everywhere else, I just miss every one of them.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones, have you done anything specifically to prepare for this office?
I guess just my prior work experience working at the jail. I've worked under Mr. Hoskins. I worked with Rex Miller when he wasn't the jailer. I've worked with J.W. Howard in the 1980s where I started. I worked with Donnie Slusher. I've been at the jail. I know what it takes to run it, how to run it. I've talked to the inmates, families. I know. I'm qualified to run that position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Farmer, any specific training you've had?
I've been in jail 4 years. Like I said, I don't pretty much how to deal with, prisoner stuff. Like I said, I've never really had much problem out here. I've worked with them, handling stuff. I always seem to listen pretty good and everything to them. And I guess it kind of qualifies me to run jail.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ferguson, any training you've taken in order to prepare for this position?
Aside from my 20-plus years of serving Bell County as a public servant in various capacities, and all my law enforcement training and experience, for the last, when I found out I was, decided, when I decided that I was going to run for the position of Bell County Jailer, I have been going to the jail at least once every couple of weeks and spending time talking, asking questions. Not been able to see all the paperwork, but just things and forms and things that I could have access to. I've done that. I've worked, talked with the judges. I went over to the circuit court clerk's office. Talked with all of them. I wanted to see exactly how all of this tied together, and so I feel like if I do get elected for the position, I can sort of hit the ground running, and I won't go into it blindly, because like I said, I've been working on this for about 1 year.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gregory, have you done anything to prepare yourself for this position specifically?
Well, personally, I don't think there's any way that I could prepare myself for it, because I've never actually been inside the jail as a jailer working and seeing things through his eyes. I think I have the qualification, and I think that I have the intelligence enough to go in here and learn and see how things run in this jail. I think if I was elected to be able to get in here, that I would be able to run things efficiently and honestly and with integrity. But with that said, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Parton, same question for you, sir.
Repeat the question.
Yes, sir. Have you done anything specifically to prepare for this office, this position?
Well, I've worked there for 7 years. I've seen the paperwork. I'm capable of taking care of bonds and taking care of fines and taking care of the inmates. So that's probably the only thing I've got. But I believe I'll be a good candidate for this position. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Lawson, same question to you.
I've been training for 19 years, but you learn something new every day. They change the rules. I've been through 3 jailers. Donnie Slusher, the time he retired, had me doing a lot of that stuff, and so did Jimmy Hobson. Rex not so much because he likes to be in control. But you can work there 20 years, 30 years, and you're always training. When I first started there, I asked the guy that worked there, I said, when you know everything? He said, I've been here for 13 years, and I will never know everything. So the only you can do is train and remember new rules as you go on up.
All right, thank you. There was one question, by the way, where we get our questions is I did an online social media poll of folks that follow me, follow the radio station, and that's where the majority of these questions come from. Each of the panelists has an opportunity, the option to ask one of their own questions as well. Their portion is finished right now, but we did have one question that was specifically given to me today that I would like to ask each and every one of you, and I will start alphabetically by first name, Mr. Mason. Do you have any opposition to submitting to random drug tests for yourself or for your employees?
That's a good
You have
question.
30 seconds, by the way, sir.
Okay, and that's a good question. I had that on some of my answer sheets here that I'd like to do. I have no problem with that, and I would like to implement that with the system in the jail system for all employees. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Holcomb, same question.
Sir, you can take a urine or blood sample from me any day of the week, anytime you want to. Also, employees, get ready because it's coming.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones.
Absolutely, you can check me anytime. Any of my employees, any day or night.
Thank you. Mr. Farmer.
Yeah, I take random drug tests for the last 21 years. I ain't failed one yet. And I've been on all the doors since I was working in jail, so I take it too.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ferguson.
Not only should it be, it will be policy if I'm elected, and I'll be the first one to step up and take it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gregory.
I have no objection with it. I'd be more than willing to take one at any time, and I think my employees under me should be under the same influence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Barton.
I'll take one anytime, and if elected, I'll make sure that we take random drug tests.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Lawson. If you were elected, do you have any opposition to taking a random drug test? Also, your employees.
Our employees are drug tested when they're hired, and then they do random drug tests. You never know when you'll be called in. Not only are we random drug tested, they breathalyze them to see if we've got alcohol in our system when we go in. But yes, I would like it more often, and if I was a jailer, it would be more often. But like I said, we are drug tested. It's just a random thing now.
Thank you very much. The question was asked because a lot of folks in the community do not fully understand that, so we appreciate that. You now have 30 seconds. This is the last portion of the debate. You can, if you will, whatever it is you have on your mind to talk to your voters here, voters on Channel 13. We'll also make this available on demand, the internet as well. And we're going to go by lot as well on this one for the last. We'll start with Mr. Mason. You actually picked 6, so we're going to start with you again. And if you would like your 30 seconds, they can start right now, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone that's came out to listen to us talk, and I want to thank all the other candidates up here with me that give good answers, and we all have run a good race. I know I answered a lot of questions with policy and procedure, but I believe in the policy and procedure. You need to study that. That's kind of your Bible that you're getting all your answers from, and I thank everyone that's come out tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. 30 seconds, Mr. Hoffman.
I'll tell you, I've looked down through the table here, and I know just about everybody here. Bell County, once again, guys, you don't lose. No matter who you pick, you're going to pick one winner up here, I promise you. These are all good people. I know them all. They ran a good campaign. They ran a clean campaign. It's been a pleasure. I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant. But my first adventure into politics has been a joy, It's been a pleasure speaking with all of you, and I will be seeing you out on the campaign trail. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones, 30 seconds.
Thank you for holding this forum.
Yes, sir.
I'm certainly glad to be here and to see the voters and potential voters out here. Again, I hope I didn't come across as arrogant a while ago. I do think I'm very well qualified for this job. You can ask anybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Farmer, your 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that turned out today there, and I thank my, I feel that everybody showing out and everything, and like I said, if elected, I'll do my best to work in jail, like it needs to be right.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Purvis, 30 seconds.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out for this forum, and to the voters, I'd just like to say that I think I have taken the necessary steps to prepare myself to be your next Bell County jailer. And again, thank you all for coming out, and I appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gregory, your 30 seconds, sir.
I'd also like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I'd like to thank the people that's watching this elsewhere. On May 20th, I'd like to ask each and individual for their vote to vote Jason Gregory, and your vote and support will be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Parker, 30 seconds.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank all of my friends and loved ones that supported me behind this. I want to remind you all to go out and vote May the 20th. Vote for me, John Parton. I'll make the best jailer that I possibly can.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, Ms. Lawson, you have 30 seconds.
I'm good at it. I'm not bragging, but I do train, and I take it seriously. And there's not a lot of people that like their job, but I do love mine. It's not for everybody, but I enjoy it. And there's a lot of things we would like, to change. And we were talking about contraband. We need new laws. You're not afraid to bring in drugs if they're going to give you 10 days time served. And that's what the judges are handing out the sentences. So who cares for 10 more days to run the sentence out? But we will try to change these things as it comes. So I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Before anybody moves, I want to take this opportunity for thanking everyone for coming out tonight. Let's have a round of applause for these folks in the auditorium. I want to remind you this will be on Channel 13 as you know it. Again, digital televisions. It is 22.104. Thank you, Time Warner, for changing all that up. Get that situated. We'll have an announcement on that very shortly. I want to take this opportunity also to remind you, Thursday night at the Bell Theater, Thursday night at the Bell Theater at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is the Judge Executives debate, and we hope to see everyone out. Again, 8 o'clock, Thursday night at the Bell Theater. Before we go, I'd like to ask all of the candidates, please stay where you are. Do you all feel like you were treated fairly during this Meet the Candidates debate? We missed a few of the candidates, and that's okay. We understand they have other obligations. That does not mean they didn't care to be here this evening. There were just certain things that came up they were unable to reschedule. We thank them for at least replying. We thank the folks who are on stage. This is Brian O'Brien for 106.3 and Channel 13. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you at the next debate. Thank you, folks. Good night. God bless.
When you're looking for a place to live, what do you look for? Convenience, value, safe housing? Well, of course you do. The Housing Authority of Middlesboro offers affordable housing for you and your family. All the apartments have been updated, are energy efficient, income-based rent, fair market rent, and flat rent. Whatever your situation is, the Housing Authority of Middlesboro provides safe, clean housing that is user-friendly in a neighborhood-type setting. Randy Earl invites everyone to look at the Housing Authority of Middlesboro. Call 606-248-6500 for more information. Safe and affordable housing you can call home. The Housing Authority of Middlesboro.
Hi, I'm Jim Mills Jr. of Mills Furniture and Appliance out of RJ, Kentucky. As you can see, Mills Furniture and Appliance is providing you with the highest quality outdoor power equipment there is. Husqvarna, Mills Furniture and Appliance, bringing you chainsaws, weed eaters, push mowers, brush cutters, blowers, riders, and self-propelled mowers. For anything you've ever wanted, needed, or desired in the outdoor power equipment, Mills Furniture and Appliance and Husqvarna, bringing it to you.
At Long's Pick Pack, customers are always number one with us.
We're passionate about our customer service. We believe in offering you only the freshest produce and superior products. So when you come to Long's Pick Pack, your grocery shopping experience is something to enjoy and look forward to, not just a chore you have. Mikey wants to invite all the kids, too.
Come to Long's, join the Galaxy Kids Club.
Long's Pick Pack, 134 Pine Street, Pineville, where the culture of our community is alive. Jeff's Pharmacy is now the exclusive home of the Parata Automation Prescription Service, which delivers high-speed and high-accuracy filling of your prescriptions. With the Parata, we can offer more personal service to our customers. Jeff's Pharmacy also provides all types of vaccinations, like shingles, hepatitis, flu, and more. We accept all Workman's Comp and Medicare Part D. Jeff's Pharmacy, your local good neighbor pharmacy, North 19th Street, Middlesboro.